Welcome to Our Town, Our Time. I'm your host, Michele Hemphill. We have an exciting show today. We're going to talk about a health issue that may keep some people from being able to stay in their home, and what we can do and what people can offer to maybe allow them to be able to stay in their home. So stay tuned for Our Town, Our Time.
My name's Al Cascardo. I live in Dayton, Ohio with my wife Linda, my mother-in-law Joyce, and my daughter Heather. Over the past 20 years, my family has had the privilege of living with my parents as well as my mother-in-law Joyce. We like to refer to this, and we have, as the Cascardo compound, a truly multi-generational home. My father, Raphael, nicknamed Cass, moved in with us right after my mother moved in. It was a great honor and pleasure to spend the final chapter of their lives with us. You know, some of the greatest memories I have of my dad are right here, sitting here at the kitchen table in the bar. We used to talk about things like his youth, about raising kids, and his service into World War II. As a result of inviting our parents to live with us, we took all the actions to make our home into their home as well. We were able to section off private living areas for them so they could maintain their independence and privacy. And on the weekends and dinners and activities, all of us were included. We felt that we thought of everything, but found that we had overlooked one of the most crucial, intimate elements of continuing to live a private life within this multi-generational environment, which most importantly was hygiene and bathing. While we were used to the occasional falls of both Mom and Dad, we didn't think about the connection to the bath until the day that my father fell in the bathroom. As a larger man, it was all we could do to get him up off the floor into a safe position. It was an incredibly uncomfortable situation for both Linda and I, and embarrassing for him. The first time my father actually looked at me with tears in his eyes, he would say, "I never wanted this for you." And I knew at that moment that we needed to do something immediately to overcome this problem. The dignity of this situation had to be resolved. I'd given a lot of thought to just how unsafe the bathroom really is for someone that struggles with balance. And then I started investigating to make the bathroom a safer place. It's easy to see that some kind of a walk-in bath would be a better place to start. Although installing the appropriate grab bars and such, and a walk-in shower with a chair, that was the first thing we tried. But it was still a white-knuckle experience for my dad. And for us, both of us, Linda and I, continued to search for a better solution. As it turned out, the only remedy that made sense was a walk-in tub. Since as a walk-in tub, you've got a spot to be able to sit down and feel secure without falling or slipping, the privacy and comfort, we could just guide Dad to the tub, sit him in it, lock the door, and he could sit down as long as he wanted in a hot, bubbly bath, relax, and listen to the ball game while he soaked and got a massage by the Jets. Just a couple of years ago, Dad passed on to the next life. It was a real joy spending the final years of his life with our life. When I think about all the steps we took to make his final days dignified and independent, it may sound corny, but the elegant walk-in tub was indeed the solution for Dad and the Cascardo compound. If you find yourself in a similar situation, you owe it to yourself and to your loved ones to consider a walk-in tub. You know, whenever I'm asked if I've made the right decision on a walk-in tub, I think that it's been the best investment we could have ever made for my dad or my family. I just wish we'd have done it sooner.
Welcome back to Our Town, Our Time. I'm with Al. We just saw the story of your father, Cass.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
My pleasure.
And letting us to come into your home and tell us a little bit about how you came about Elegant Walk-In Tubs and how you made the decision to purchase that one. for your house.
Absolutely. My wife and I have 44 years now. We've been trying to figure out ways to make things more comfortable for our family. And many years ago, we decided to have the family live together, kind of multi-generational.
And I just have to say that's a wonderful thing, and I commend you for doing that,
Thank you.
and your wife.
Thank you.
Because it's a big undertaking.
It was more than what we thought it was.
Well, sure.
You think at first that it's just the camaraderie of being able to be together and share
Right.
things, which it was. We had great fun. We did a lot of family things together. Didn't have to travel because the whole family was there.
Right.
And at the same time, as they got older, we found different things that we had to deal with that we were personally having to deal with rather than finding some outside source. And
Well, that's right, because you no longer are the son and daughter-in-law, you become the caregiver.
yes, you start raising your parents, it's a little bit different.
Right.
And Mom came into Alzheimer's, and that made the situation advanced a little bit
Sure.
worse. And then Dad also then just became extremely unsteady. And once he fell in the front yard, after that he was always unstable. And so then we had to figure out ways to make the house safer.
Right.
And one of the biggest issues was the bathing issue and trying to maintain some kind of dignity for him, and also some sense of comfortableness for us so that
That's
they still
right.
had their independence. And as we started looking at different places I'm kind of handy with my tools that I have at home, and so I tried to make things accommodating with a couple of grab bars and things like that. But then the bathroom in particular became a big issue.
Right.
Falling, we had the squad out a couple of times to try and help Dad out of the bathroom or out of the
Right.
shower, and so we had to find something that would help. And I did everything from actually taking the old bathtub out and putting in a walk-in shower, but he fell in that one as well. It's a real white knuckle experience. And again, from a standpoint of just making it difficult, it was at the end when we finally got him cleaned and showered and back in his chair, warm and comfortable. At least one time he was teared up and he looked at me and I said, did you get hurt? He said, no, I just never wanted this for you.
Right.
And I, that obviously brought tears for both of us. So
Well, sure.
we had to find something else besides that.
Plus, I'm
And
sure it was very time-consuming and probably wore him and you out.
it did, and it was the most anxious time. If I could remove that anxiety somehow,
Right.
because we wanted to get in and out of there, both he and I, as quickly as
That's
possible,
right.
for
Yes.
multiple reasons.
Exactly.
And so finally, I had the opportunity to find out about this elegant walk-in tub. And as I looked at it, and I finally found one that fit the needs so that it made him comfortable, gave him his independence back, and allowed us the opportunity to be able to let my father actually enjoy a bath.
Right, instead of
Yes,
being
and-
anxious about it.
And being a World War II veteran and all that made him, he was very, very conscious and kind of prideful of his appearance.
Well, sure.
And me as well. I mean, you're kind of guarding your eyes at the same time. So this gave us an opportunity to maintain a little bit of privacy and also dignity for he and I. And this particular tub, we liked it so much that I got involved with finding a place where they manufactured these. And this allowed us to be able to give everything in a package instead of maybe buying just what they call a soaker tub
Right.
that you'll find at some of the big box stores and what have you. And they're a little bit better than a number 3 wash tub.
Right.
But the problem is you don't have jets and you don't have a lot of the features that you have to add on later. And then it becomes, if you buy one of those, this is what we have found out, it's kind of like buying a treadmill and wind up hanging your clothes on it because
Right.
they use it once or twice and you have buyer's remorse, and we didn't want that. So this gave us great comfort, great security. It was priced appropriately so you weren't gutting your savings account as well as your bathroom.
Right.
And anyway, it became something that we have since had the opportunity with other families that wanted to have something like this, that it was a family affair. It was more than trying to sell things to the baby boomers and the elderly. It's actually for the family.
Right.
And so it's been very gratifying, and right now I still have my mother-in-law living with us. That would be mom, dad, and mother-in-law now, and mom enjoys it as well as the rest of the family. It's hard to keep the grandkids out of it.
I'm sure.
It's
it's a great experience. And again, from a standpoint of cleanliness, happiness, independence, and just feeling safe in the bathroom.
Right, not worrying about
That's great.
slipping
When
and
you
falling.
can say to
and-
Dad, look, here we got the water running for you. He walks in, sits down, and he can call me on his cell phone, which is sitting on the tub whenever he's ready, and he just sits back and listens to the ball game, which it's got a radio in it, and it's got its own heater, so you're not depending upon the hot water heater.
Yeah.
And that's so important, because I would, being chilled, sitting there waiting for it to fill up or for it to drain, but it does both quickly and in warm water. So I think those are really important features whenever you're looking to make it happier for your home, for your loved ones to stay at home longer.
Right.
And I know you have a particular empathy for that, and that's something that I've always found that we wanted to do to make them more comfortable.
That's right. So you investigated all the different options out there, and the elegant walk-in tub is the one you were sold on.
Yes.
So much so that
Now we work with that company, and we help families find this tub so that they can use it. It's completely loaded. You don't need any options on it, because it's kind of like we show the unit complete, so you don't have to add anything later.
Right.
And that's what always surprises. It's the hidden things. It's,
the hidden costs. No one likes
we
that.
even found that there's a lot of these tubs that are like too big, and you'll buy them, but then you got to take a wall out to get them in. And that's not what the customer wants. They want to be able to do something that is not going to, just like I said, wreck their savings account, because everybody's got a limited budget these days.
Well, sure, everyone's on a budget.
So this was the right size. It's got everything you need, and it's a wonderful opportunity for anyone. So.
Well, again, Al, thank you for sharing your story and your family's story.
Thank you.
And it's quite a testament, the fact that you're helping other families with the elegant walk-in tubs. Again, thank you.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
And we will be right back to Our Town, Our Time in just a minute.